Welcome to Shawn Conrad Unscripted. Real talk about life, hustle, and building the best version of yourself. Let's go.
We represent. Relax your mind if you're extra tense. Catch this bug like Spidey sense and bounce to the beat cause it's excellent.
Excellent.
We represent. Relax your mind if you're extra tense.
So right now it's hard to jump into all these delicious topics that I want to talk about because I'm dealing with, things that are going on with my mom and just trying to really handle things and adjust things so I can accommodate her in a great way. So previously, I had plans for, different topics, different things I wanted to talk about, different stories I wanted to share, different type of motivational, type of inspirational words or stories that I wanted to share. But it's difficult right now because my mind is scattered. You know what I'm saying? My mind is scattered because I'm constantly thinking about how to prepare. That's important to me. Preparing well. I think when you prepare well, you can expect good things. And you can't always prepare for everything. There's times where you got to just wing it. But preparation is a powerful thing. As I mentioned preparation, I think about back in the day when I was getting ready to go into that world championship rap contest way back in the day in my early 20s. And I remember a friend of mine asking me like the day before the contest, he was like, "You think you're going to win?" And I remember saying to him, the only way that I can lose is if somebody is well prepared. They have to be super well prepared because I knew how much I prepared. I just try to think about everything, every angle people could come at me, every dilemma, every word that could be thrown at me. I tried to think about all those things and make sure that I was prepared for that. So in a similar way, today, years later, I still have that mentality, just try to prepare well. And I think for the most part, it's done me good. It's done me good. So that's where I am today. I was thinking about, how best to accommodate making my mom feel comfortable, as she gets weaker, she's older and, I got to make sure I have an eye on her, you know what I'm saying? So she doesn't get hurt. And I started to think about trying to find a new home, try to find this new home that, maybe is a little smaller, so I downsized a little bit because my two younger daughters are not here as much. And then I was trying to figure out, well, how do I accommodate the space that my mom needs, the space that I need, X, Y, and Z. And then yesterday, it just came to me that I already have a great space. I just need to kind of relocate my mom from her what people call her fabulous 2-bedroom apartment down 2 levels and just bring her up, because even on my level, one below here, there's parts of this house that I really don't use much. Literally a family room, a dining room, and a sunroom. So yesterday it occurred to me, bring my mom up here closer, right? So I can keep an eye on her and then just throw some doors, right? For privacy purposes, throw some doors on some of those open entryways that I have now. And I don't have to leave the house or sell this house and downgrade in X, Y, and Z. On top of that, I'd be able to rent out the 2-bedroom apartment situation all the way downstairs where my mom is now. And people would love that because when people walk in now, they're like, "Oh my gosh, didn't think this was in here," And then, get some rental income, X, Y, and Z. But the priority being that my mom would be closer to where I can kind of keep an eye on her, provide the help that she might need, and still have a space for, her caregiver to come and do what she does when she comes, right? So that's where my mind's been for a while, and it's been hard to remove my mind from that and talk about all these other things, all these stories, all this hip hop, all this Brooklyn or whatever. Like, it's right now it's a little difficult to hit on all those topics because, priority number one right now is making sure everybody's good. So you have to make sacrifices. You have to weigh what is important. And most things are important, most things are important to you, but you got to weigh those against other things that are important. And then some of those less important things, they got to be on pause. They got to be on pause. You know what I'm saying? It's the right thing to do. They got to be on pause for a second. So yeah, when I weigh those things, my priority right now is to make sure one level below is straight. So, I'm going to throw a little stand-up shower and a half bath down there, throw some doors up, turn that dining room into a living room situation for my mom and her caregiver so they could have some space, and then hook my mom's room up in that other family room. It's like I got a living room and a family room. So one of those other rooms, I'm gonna turn that into my mom's bedroom, and it looks right out the front of the house. She can see outside even more, X, Y, and Z. Like, yeah, it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. I just got to, hire some contractors, do some painting, throw up some doors, X, Y, and Z, but it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. My mom is going to be so happy. So that's the plan. Now it's finding some contractors or finding a trusty contractor, you know what I'm saying, to do things right. And then I got to, get the painter over to, to touch up and make everything look good and fabulous. And, a few other things here and there, but I think it's going to work out great. And then, I'll have some renters, I think, on that lowest level, something like that, So that's what it is. And, I know that there's other people going through what I'm going through, what we're dealing with, X, Y, and Z, at an even deeper level. You know what I'm saying? So I really, really, really try not to complain about anything. Sometimes, I find myself in a dilemma, like, what's the next best thing to do? But that's not a complaint. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, what, that's just some deep thought. It's just some deep thought, but it's not a complaint. Because I always feel like I'm super blessed. I'm capable. And I thank God for that. Yeah. So that's what that is. That's the plan. And then everything else still has to work and still has to keep moving. As far as my daughters sitting these practice sessions and all that stuff, like all of that stuff still has to keep moving. Right. And it's just life. It's lifing. It's lifing, So it is important to, even before these things happen in your life, it's important to try to set up well, right? Like have your ducks in a row, right? Like make sure your income is right, if at all possible, right? And I know it's hard, most people are living, moment to moment, you know what I'm saying? But you got to try to have things in place before you get caught out there, So just as a reminder, like, yes, it's important to save. It's important to have like backups for your backups and all of that, because you just never know, and you have to listen to that phrase. You never know. You don't know what city you're going to live in next year. I know you think you do, but you don't. You don't know who you're going to be working for next year. I know you think you do, but you don't. You don't. That's just how it is, right? I never thought I'd be living in Atlanta. Never. I came here and visited once back in the day. We came to one of the Freakniks, and I was listening to the music on the radio, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's real country over here. And the music's mad corny, but I live in Atlanta, like, and I love it. I love it. I love the weather. I'm just at a different point in my life, but I didn't know. You just don't know. You don't know. I was living in Brooklyn, working in Manhattan, just life happening. Visited here before, and then you go back. You don't think you're going to live here. So you never know. It's the same thing. Like when you go on vacation, you visit a country, you're like, oh, that was dope. Next thing you know, you're buying a property in Kenya. You know what I'm saying? Like you just don't know. Or you meet somebody who impacts you, who says one or two things that have an impact on you, which takes you to the next step. And next thing you know, you're visiting some other state, right? Trying to see if you can work there, checking out the home prices. That's just what it is. And the only way you can execute all of that successfully is to prepare well. It just comes right back to that. Prepare well. Try to. I know it's tough, but you have to try to, right? It's important to think about your future, because your future affects people around you. If you got kids, it touches your kids. If you got, relationships, it touches your relationships. All of it does. All of it does. If you outside and you arguing with people outside, you bringing that stuff home. It comes home with you. You think it doesn't, but you're pissed off because of the thing that just happened outside, and you trying to pull back when you get home, but your kids know. Your kids know you're upset. Your person knows you're upset because you're acting different. So yeah, everything affects you, your future, and people around you. So it's important to try to really assess your moves, where you want to live, what city you're going to be in, what type of home you buy. If I wasn't here right now, how would I accommodate my mom? And some people might not want to do that. That might not be your thing, to accommodate your parents. But thank God that I'm here and I can accommodate and still have, some peace of mind, privacy, X, Y, and Z. Thank God. Right? Because you never know. You never know. So keep that in mind and know that, like I said before, you can get through anything. If you're listening to this right now, you got through some things. Whatever you say your worst thing was that ever happened to you, you got through it because you're here listening to this right now. And if you're going through it right now, you can get through this. You can get through this. It's just preparing you for something great. It's preparing you for something great, right? You're hearing this to prepare you for something that you will have to deal with or confront in your life. That's the only reason why you're hearing this. And my whole story might not even matter to you. It might just be one or two things that I said in this story that matter to you. And that's good enough. That's good enough. Whether it triggers you to think about something you didn't think about before, whether it helps you make some decisions about what you really need to do, whether it makes you call your mom or your dad that you haven't spoke to in a while, whether it makes you call a friend that you haven't spoke to in a while, whatever it is, you're hearing this for a reason. This is not by accident. This is life. This is life, right? And I strongly believe that some of the smallest things have a profound effect on us. Yup. They have a profound effect. It could be the smallest thing you see from afar, the smallest thing you hear, because these people were chatting close to you, can have a profound effect on what you do next. Yep. That's how all this social media works. You're scrolling, you're looking, you're getting ideas, you're getting motivated, you're getting turned off, you're getting this is how we work, right? You're seeing things either to know that's what you want to do or to know that's what you never want to do. Marinate on that. Marinate on that. A friend of mine told me a long time ago, I may not know what I want to do, but I definitely know what I don't want to do. And when he said it, I was like, oh, wow, I never thought about it that way. I definitely know what I don't want to do. That's powerful. That's powerful. Same thing with relationships. You run into the nutcase or the person who just totally disappointed you. That's for identification purposes. That's what you're trying to avoid. That's the lesson. That is the lesson. That's what you're trying to avoid. Might not be who you're looking for, but that's what you're trying to avoid. Be spelled out. You needed to experience that so ooh, that's not what I'm looking for. Yup. That's how it happens. That's how this life thing works. I wish you the best. I hope that this message has resonated with you in some way. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.
What?
Thanks for checking out Shawn Conrad Unscripted. Don't forget to subscribe, share this with a friend, and follow me at The Life of Shawn C. Until next time, keep building your best life.
We represent. Relax your mind if you're extra tense. Catch this bug like Spidey sense and bounce to the beat 'cause it's excellent.